today's video, I'm going to be tier ranking every single WWE video game cover art that's ever been released. At least I think. There are a lot of WWE branded video games that it's possible that I miss some, but I'm pretty sure that we've got all of them. There's nearly 60. Now I'm going to look at the cover. I'll give you my opinion. I'm not a graphic designer, so really it's just, do I like how it looks or do I hate how it looks? And then I'll tier rank it from Hall of Fame all the way down to trash. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with his YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And to clarify, I'm not ranking the actual video game because there are some awesome wrestling games with terrible cover arts and vice versa. We're just looking at the cover art. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so here are the different tiers that we're going to be using. We have the Hall of Fame tier, which is reserved for like the super sexy video game covers. Then we work our way down to great, good, meh, and trash. And trash is really reserved for those game covers that I could have probably made on Photoshop if given enough time. Now, here's the thing. We are looking at a lot of gaming covers. We're looking at nearly 60 of them. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on every single individual cover. One, because I'm not an artist. I'm not a graphic designer. So I can't really give you analytical details as to why I like one more than the other. Like, this is purely opinion based and really just a gut feeling. So you're just going to have to take it how it is. I'm also not doing this in any chronological order because if I were to really focus on like the ones from my childhood, like in consequential order, I'd probably rate them higher. So I'm just going to look at every era, whether it's like late 80s, 90s, 2020s, in whatever order they just come up. All right, ready? Let's get started then. Let's start off with the WrestleMania 18 cover. This is actually sexy. I love the black and white look with the NWO feel, Stone Cold in the middle of the cover. I feel like this is actually like kind of elite. Like we're starting off right off the get-go, incredibly strong. I'm going to put this into the great category. Like I just look at it and it screams what WrestleMania 18 is all about. I mean, we did a WrestleMania game. Let's do another one really quick so you can see the contrast in difference in quality. WrestleMania 21. This thing sucks ass. Like they literally just put the WrestleMania 21 logo and they called it a day. Like no creativity at all whatsoever. I could have made this on Photoshop. I also never played this game, even though WrestleMania 21 is like super fucking hype. Trash. I've never played a wrestling game on a Game Boy, so I've never heard of WWE Betrayal. I mean, the name the name is a little bit prima donna, sure. I like the cover, is not bad, but it's nothing like uber creative either. So I don't know. I guess I'll go in the meh category. WWE 2K14. Look, I'm kind of hit or miss with these. I feel like so many of these are, especially in like consequential years, are just the same cover, just with the different cover athlete in there. Like there's very little in terms of creativity. I guess this is okay. I can't go higher than meh. Obviously, like I love The Rock. I like the game, but the cover is pretty meh. WrestleMania 2000. Okay, all right. We're going into the N64 days. The N64 had some iconic wrestling games. This is not like the iconic wrestling games. A lot of people do like the WrestleMania 2000 game, but this was not it for me. I think this cover is like pretty meh too. Like there's nothing really to it. It's just like a handful of the popular wrestlers at the time and then just the WrestleMania 2000 logo. There's really not a lot going on here. I'll put this into the meh category. Not as bad as WrestleMania 21. WWE Day of Reckoning 2. Cena. I think that's Triple H. And then in the middle, Stacy Keibler. I mean, it feels like a more serious game than just like, hey, this is a WWE game. All right, come in and do your suplexes and your submission holds. This feels like I bought an RPG. This might not necessarily be a great wrestling video game cover, but as a video game cover, I'm kind of digging it. It just kind of gives it a bit more of an adult and serious vibe. I'll actually put this into the good category. The OG SmackDown versus Raw. Honestly, in terms of a cover athlete, we don't love Vince McMahon these days, but in terms of an actual cover, this is fire. Like this is as iconic as it gets in terms of wrestling cover arts. I'm putting the OG SmackDown versus Raw right into the Hall of Fame. I'm not even thinking twice about this. This is a great cover art. Okay, this is interesting. WWE All-Stars, not like a fan favorite wrestling game. I personally did like it, but the cover is fire for what it's trying to do, for what it's trying to emulate. The colors are vibrant. It stands out in a store shelf. It's funny because it's like almost the complete opposite of WrestleMania 18, yet I think that they're both great. Now let's look at WrestleMania 19. I played the living hell out of this game on the GameCube. I still have it. I should probably pull it out, but it's somewhere in storage here in the house. I don't think this is bad. It's not like incredible. I don't even think that is good. I like kind of the gold feel of it, contrasts nicely with the WrestleMania blue color, but I don't think that it's any more creative than WrestleMania 2000, so I'll put it there. Look at this one, WrestleMania on the SNES. For those that don't know, that's the Super Nintendo. Some people say SNES. I sometimes say SNES, SNES, whatever it is that you want to call it. I feel like this is pretty sick. I like the different pictures. I like that it's not just like PNGs, cutouts of different wrestlers just kind of superimposed side by side. It's like cool, different wrestling moments that have happened at WrestleMania. I kind of vibe with that. I'm going to put this into the good category. Next, we have WWE 2K17, the one with Brock Lesnar. I actually think that this is one of the few 2K17 covers that like really stands out. Obviously, like Brock Lesnar is the beast. I feel like that like fiery lightning or whatever it is really fits well with the moniker of the beast. Well, so many of the other 2K games are just wrestler, shiny red background, and that's it. But at the very least, I feel like they did something unique that suits Brock Lesnar's look and feel. I think this one's great, honestly. See, I'll show you the contrast. WWE 2K19, for example. Obviously, like, we love AJ Styles around these parts, but like, there's just no creativity to this. It's just shiny red background, a bit of black, and then just a PNG of the wrestler at the front. Ow. There's not a lot going on here. Like, a lot of these 2K19 cover arts, 2K cover arts in the late 2010s are pretty generic. I'm kind of leaning towards this trash because it's so simplistic. And the same thing was with WWE 2K18. Like, look, there's like no difference. I can put them side by side. I'm going to put them in the trash. And there's just no differentiating factor that this is the AJ Styles year or this is the Seth Rollins year. So to me, like, just the lack of creativity, I'm putting it right into the trash bin. Another Game Boy game. I've never played a wrestling game on Game Boy. There's not a heck of a whole lot going on here. It's just wrestlers in the front, a logo, and all right, let's move on. But at least it's got, I guess, a little bit more going on than the 2K cover, so I guess I'll put this into meh. Let's look at a newer WWE 2K. WWE 2K22, the one with Rey Mysterio. This gives me vibes of the Brock Lesnar one. It's got like not just the generic red background. There's something that makes it feel very Rey Mysterio-esque. I look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is the Rey Mysterio year. I'm going to put this into the great category. WWE 12. Look, I like this cover. I really do. It kind of gives me vibes of the days of WWE Day of Reckoning, where it just sort of felt like a more serious piece of content that I was purchasing rather than just, shiny sports video game. I'm gonna put this into the good category. It does give me the vibes of Day of Reckoning. SmackDown versus Raw, the one with Batista and John Cena on the cover. What year is this again? This is 2006. That makes sense. This is the year when they really broke out. I like this cover. I don't think that it quite hits the level of like the menacing Vince McMahon eyes, but I'm gonna put this into the great bin. WWE Battlegrounds. Look, for what it is, like, it's pretty neat. I like what it looks like. I know this was the year where WWE 2K needed to take a break because of how bad WWE 2K20 was. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not meh. Put it right in the middle. Like, good. Let's look at the most modern game, WWE 2K24. I actually think that this cover bangs. I think it's awesome. Like, this, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this is what I would expect a cover of a video game that has Cody Rhodes on the cover to be. I think it's a fantastic cover. I like the one that's got Bianca and Rhea Ripley in it as well, but this, just like the vanilla version of the game with Cody Rhodes in it, I think that this is absolutely fantastic. This goes into the Hall of Fame for me. I guess there's another WWF WrestleMania game. This one just, I think this is just on the NES. This is just Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt. I mean, I guess it gets the job done. That's what the kiddies like back then, Hulk Hogan. But there's not a heck of a lot of creativity going on here. Honestly, I think I might put this into trash. There's just not anything going on. It's just a picture of Hogan and then WrestleMania logo. Look at this. Did any of you guys play a WWE game on the N-Gage? What the fuck is the N-Gage? Is that like mobile system that looked like a giant brick? This is not very good. This sucks. Like, I could definitely make this on Photoshop if I wanted to. It looks like this is what the late 2K games used as inspiration. What is this game called? WWE Aftershock, huh? I've literally never heard of this. WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007. Again, I love the duology of like one side is Raw, one side is SmackDown. It just works for me, man. And it's not a nostalgia thing. I promise you it's not. Just like visually, it's really appealing. I'm going to put this in the gray. Now we're looking at WWE Raw. This cover rules. I didn't love the Raw video game. This was just on the Xbox. I liked Raw 2 better, but look at this cover. This literally screams, this is Monday Night Raw. You're buying this game and you're getting an episode of Monday Night Raw. It like emulates that. It's a perfect cover. This goes into Hall of Fame for me. Anybody ever play this? WWF with Authority? I mean, this cover is ass. It reminds me of the covers of like the WCW games, which were not very good. The games weren't very good either for like WCW. I'm going to put this into the meh because at the very least, there's a little bit of creativity going on, but this sucks. This isn't very good. Now we're looking at WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2010. And I don't think this is as good as the previous SmackDown versus Raw games in terms of cover that I've seen. So I'll put this into the good category. I do like it, but it's just, I don't like that they kind of did away with the split coloring of the red and blue. This is just a bit more generic than the other one, so it goes into good. Oh, hell yeah, man. WWE SmackDown, shut your mouth. One of my favorite wrestling video games ever. Now, the cover is okay, but I think what works is like, it feels like Triple H is looking at me yelling, shut your mouth to me, which I know sounds stupid, but I feel like that works in terms of what the game is trying to convey, like a special type of attitude from the game cover to the consumer. So I'll put this into the good category. WWF Attitude. I love this game. I didn't know that there were better wrestling video games at the time. Like, to me, for a long time, this was my favorite wrestling video game. I don't love the cover. You know, it's tough to really make out what's going on. I'm going to go into the meh category with this. WWF Royal Rumble. It looks like the color department on whoever was making this just used like the most, I don't know, watered down colors that you could have used. It just looks terrible. Maybe this is not a good picture of it. It's possible that that's the case, but this doesn't look very good. The colors just are off. I did not mean to put that into the good category. I meant to put that. Honestly, I don't like the colors. I'm going to go in the trash. WWE Day of Reckoning, the original. Do you see what I mean? Like, these Day of Reckoning games look like you were buying a Lord of the Rings game. It just made it feel like so different from a traditional wrestling game that you could get. Like, I love this. I actually think this is better than the Day of Reckoning 2 that we've already done. I'm bumping this up to great. WWF King of the Ring with Bret Hart as the cover athlete. I think that this is much better than like when you compare it to something like WrestleMania down here where Hulk Hogan is just ripping off his shirt. There's a little bit more going on. Logos are fire. Pictures are nice. I like this. This goes in good. I've never even heard of this. WWF Micro League Wrestling. I mean, it just sort of looks like Hulk Hogan is it's just peeking around the corner trying to destroy you. I'll put this in the trash. This is whatever. WWF, the original SmackDown. Obviously, it's a game that I have a lot of fondness for, but like, look at this side by side to this one that I have here, the WWF Attitude. There's just not a heck of a lot of difference. It's just, you change the color gradient is really what you did here. Yeah, meh. WWF No Mercy, one of the best wrestling games, iconic cover. I don't think that it quite reaches the levels of a Hall of Fame cover art, but I do like this cover. I do. I'm going to put this into gray. This is the Game Boy version of WrestleMania 18. I mean, it's not, see this WrestleMania 18 like that I have it right beside? Like, that one's way better. Significantly better, actually. The more I put it side by side, the more I hate this. So I'm gonna put this into meh. WWF Rage Cage. I've never heard of this on the Sega CD. It looks like they just put the entire roster on here and Rage Cage in the middle. There's not much to this. This is pretty trash. Look at this Sega game, WWF Steel Cage. What? Again, never heard of this, but I don't instantly hate this. I think that this is better than Rage Cage, so I guess we'll put this into the meh category there. Now let's look at Legends of WrestleMania. Look at this beautiful cover. This is actually a perfect, amazing cover art. I think that it hits the nail on the head for what this game is, which is the golden era, the age of wrestling that has gone by, the legends of WrestleMania. I love the colors. I love what they've done with the cover athletes, where it's just not just a generic picture of them. I love this. This is Hall of Fame for me. WWE 2K23 with John Cena. I feel like they took what they did with Rey Mysterio up here in 2K22 that I have in the great category, and they just made it way worse. There's just not a lot to this going on. I like kind of like the after blur of the you can't see me a little bit, but it goes in meh. WWE 2K16. Look, at the very least, this has broken glass, which makes it feel like the Stone Cold version of the game, unlike 2K19 and 2K18, which is just the same cover with a different athlete on the front. So, because at the very least there's a distinguishing factor to make it the Stone Cold edition of the game, I'll go meh. I love WWE 13's cover. I think that this is awesome. I remember the unveiling of this on Monday Night Raw too. That was awesome. I'll put this into the great category. SmackDown versus Raw 2011 brought back what I liked in the old school SmackDown versus Raw covers. I just hate the cover athletes. 2011 was a rough time for WWE. Let's just be honest about that. Like, come on, CM Punk should absolutely be on the cover of this. Anyways, this is a significant downgrade in my opinion from the other SmackDown versus Raws. I'll put this into the good meh category. WWF Warzone. I played the crap out of this game. This was on the PS1, the version that I played. This game sucked ass. But again, you just sort of played what you had at the time, all right? You just made the best with what you had. The game is ass. The cover is not particularly more creative than like anything down here. Like, it's kind of the same if you think about it to this Hulk Hogan one, where it's just popular superstar posing and logo. I'll put this in trash. SmackDown, just bring it. All right, so the last SmackDown game we put into the meh category, but this one, you see this feels a lot more like SmackDown. This stands out, and I love the fact that the cover athlete, The Rock, isn't behind the blue color gradient because it makes him stand out. It still has the SmackDown feel with the wrestlers in the back. This one is actually great in my opinion. Next, we have WWF Superstars on the original Game Boy. I mean, I kind of like the fact that the cover is like the holy trinity of the golden age of wrestling, like the three most popular: Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan. I kind of dig that, actually. You know what? The more I look at it, again, this is all a gut feeling. I'm kind of vibing with this. I'm going to put this in good. Raw 2. This was a significant downgrade in cover. Like, look at how good the original Raw cover is. And then they made this one a lot more generic. On top of that, in what world does Scott Steiner deserve to be on the cover of a WWE video game? This feels like a WCW game, man. It's got Scott Steiner and Goldberg as two of the three cover athletes. That's actually crazy to me. It should have been probably, if we're looking at that era, it probably should have been Triple H, Shawn Michaels on the cover, and maybe Goldberg, but I definitely would have put Scott Steiner there. I maybe would have put like Rob Van Dam or something. Now this cover art is so lazy compared to the original. Meh. SmackDown versus Raw featuring ECW back in 2008. This one doesn't really have that same half and half feel. I don't think that you could have really done a great job of doing that. Honestly, what this cover should have tried to emulate, it should have tried to emulate what's going on with this Game Boy one, and having like 3 sections to the cover: an ECW ECW one, a Raw, and a SmackDown one, but they just sort of went with blue as the de facto color. I don't love this. I'm going to put this cover into the meh category. Raw is War. I guess there was an original Raw game. This is like old. This is like from 1994 when Raw initially became a thing. I can barely make out what the fuck is happening in this cover. So this is like an immediate trash. Like this just to me just looks like visual vomit. WWE Crash Hour. I mean, one of the funkiest games that you can get out there with the WWE licensing. I feel like they could have been so much more creative with the cover art in this. Don't you think? But this just doesn't do it for me. Like, I'm going to put this into the meh category. This should have been so much better, in my opinion. WWE 2K15, you can't fool me. This is still just the same cover as 2019 and 2018 with a little bit of white in it. Trash. WWE 2K20, the game is pretty terrible. It's objectively just a horrible mess. It doesn't work. Especially if you were to get the Nintendo Switch version of this game, which I got for my niece. What a mistake that was. The cover is, it's got the right athletes, I would say, especially Becky Lynch at the time. But there's really just nothing going on, man. I could make this trash. SmackDown 2. I feel like they learned from the kind of watered down cover of SmackDown 1. Like, look at it, like it's not too much different, but they did a good job of making sure that the athletes that you want to stand out in the cover stand out, because The Rock and Mankind in that original one just are sort of blended in, but this stands out a lot more. I don't think that it quite hits the level of SmackDown. Just bring its awesome cover. I'll bring it down just a notch into the good category. WWF WrestleMania Challenge. This kind of looks like an old school arcade cabinet cover. It's just like choose your wrestler type of deal. I don't love this. Like, I feel like you could compare it to this, the Game Boy one, but I feel like there's a bit more life to that Game Boy one. This just sort of feels like, hey, just grab the most recent pictures that you got, toss them in there, and put Hogan in the middle. Meh. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, one of my favorite wrestling video games of all time. This thing truly is a work of art. It is so goddamn good as a game. As a cover, it's good. It's kind of just copying what SmackDown 2 and SmackDown Just Bring It were able to figure out. I don't quite think that it gets to the level of great, in my opinion. Now we've got WWF European Rampage. Maybe this is just a Europe exclusive game. Never heard of this. Not a heck of a whole lot going on. I like the unique logo that's got going on there, because it's not really something that we see too often. I'll put it in meh, though. I didn't even know this existed. A Game Boy Advance game for Survivor Series. Look, I initially want to say I hate this, and put it into the trash category, but it actually works with what Survivor Series is, right? Like the 5v5, it does sort of feel like it's top half versus bottom half here. I feel like this saves it from the trash category. I'll put this in meh. WWF WrestleMania is another one, but this is just Hulk Hogan with American flags. Why not? You know what? I'm a Canadian. I got no bias towards Americana, but it works. I feel like adding the American flags to Hulk Hogan actually makes this better than this WrestleMania game down here. So I'll put it goes a little bit higher into meh. And WWE SmackDown versus Raw. This does have ECW as well. This one's from a little bit later in 2009. I like this. I would put this into the good bin here. Let's put this into good. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, I'm not a graphic designer. This is just my personal gut feeling. So these could be entirely different for any other creator that could make this video, or you yourself watching at home. But that's my opinion. All right, that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.